Welcome back to the XCS Custom Shop here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with Eric. Say hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
There he is, folks. Now, every board has a few crossroads in it, a few difficulties, hurdles, if you will. Layout is often one of them. So if you're out there building your own pedal board, and that first hurdle is almost invariably, what is going to fit on this board? And Eric, help us. What do we do in fitting things, and what do we do with things that don't fit?
Well, so a couple of cases you could have. Somebody could come in and say, here's all the pedals I want on a board. Build me a board. I build them in the back. You can't see it, but it's over that direction on the other side of that wall.
Get the truss there. Whip pan.
So in that case, it can be any size it needs to be. Or they can come in and say, hey, I've got a pedal train XYZ. I'd like to use this because it fits a case I have. Or I have a Pelican. I'd like it to fit. I want these pedals. And then it becomes a game of Tetris, factoring in not just being able to fit, but also being able to be used. This is in that line where client had this pedal board, the bottom one here. It fit in this mono case right here.
Was that one that we had made? No,
it is not.
You know, I listen. I don't say who it was because
I
don't want.
I don't want to say the name.
I don't want to know who it was, and because I don't want to slag on anybody. But I'll tell you, folks, how I knew instantly. I said, "Did we build this board?" And I came down here and saw that corner, and I knew, nope, we did not build that board. No, it's hard to make. It's hard to make those things line up right. I certainly have a hard time doing it, but it's the 10,000 hour rule.
That's a pretty solid miter right there. So we built this top riser to go on.
So that's what we're looking for, and that one's hidden there.
Hopefully that one's good.
Yeah. Well, we need to talk. No.
Sometimes I'll show you the best one.
No, that's good.
I think they're all pretty good on that one.
Those are all good. Those are all good. This would be out of character if I saw a board that we made that looked like that. I would just walk in here and I would go tap, 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 tap. And he would give me the side eye saying...
Oh, I would already feel the personal shame.
That's right.
But all that to say, we had a platform that the client wanted all these pedals to fit onto. You may notice there's a couple lonely friends over here that could not be made to fit.
Do you remember the song Island of Misfit Toys from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Rankin and Bass?
I remember of this song. I don't remember how it goes offhand.
The Island of Misfit Toys.
There's some good music in that movie.
There is. It's not a Jack. It's a Charlie in the box. Those are our Charlies in a box. Or the train with square wheels.
Yeah.
I digress again.
But
I apologize.
This fella came in, he had a picture of stuff laid on here.
Pedal planner picture?
No, he had just laid the pedals on here.
Oh, gotcha.
Taken a picture and said, here's essentially the board I'd like to have.
That happens a lot.
It happens a lot. And it makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Unless you build a board every day
of
the week and you know that things like jacks and I just kind of know how much space I'm going to have based on what kind of power supply, because I know that the True Tone right angle cables are a lot smaller than the Strymon ones. So you just kind of get a gauge for these things. So tried as hard as I could to make everything fit in the layout that he had originally wanted. Wasn't going to happen. Called and said, hey, I don't think we can fit all these. And he said, well, I don't really use that Univibe or that fuzz very often. If we take those off, can it work? And I said, yes. And
even then with some caveats, right? Like the eagle-eyed amongst you might say, hey, that button might have limited accessibility.
Yeah, in the same voice, to be able to get on this footprint, because boards are more than just the pedals on them. It's also all the cabling and the plugs that stick out them, and the cable has to go somewhere. So
that's what they tell me.
In the same phone call of, hey, I don't think they can all fit. What are you okay with losing? And he had already stated that this was pretty much going to be a studio recording board. So it was just going to sit. He's not going out. He's not trying to hit it while he's standing up. Probably a lot of sitting down while using this. I said, is it going to be an issue if you have to hit a couple of these buttons with your hand? And he said, that's fine. So this would be kind of hard to get to in a live setting. You'd have to stick in there pretty crazy. But it had to live just a little bit under the riser here to be able to fit everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that button, man, that's going to be hard to get to, but not a big deal if you're hitting it and then playing a pass.
Yep.
And then
but
else.
Something like the micro clock,
yeah,
that's got to be there.
I can certainly see that will need to be got at easily. I can see kicking on some overdrives during a pass. Certainly these things over here would be necessary. Probably those and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of balancing the things you need to get at quickly versus what can be harder to get at.
For sure. So that's kind of your layout talk for the day. So what do we actually have going on here signal flow wise?
Signal flow, there's an interface right under here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got an input, it's got an insert, and then stereo outs with ISO in there. And then there's a couple switches you can get to in the back here. So it comes in, goes over to a compressor. That's not the compressor.
Oh, gosh.
I looked at the compressor as I went like that.
Do you know what that is?
This is
I don't want to embarrass you.
Pedal that I think it makes your cheeks purse or something. Or it makes mine do that. Wah pedal, compressor.
Good job.
EQ, RC, and this is one that we've modded. I just modded it moments ago, friends. Hot off the other desk. RC, ODR, King of Tone, Tim Pierce, Guerrilla Warfare, and then out to this insert.
Gotcha.
And then back in to Para EQ, which can drive this volume pedal. And then the volume pedal drives, where's it go? I gotta look at my pictures down here. This bit commander, POG 2, CE2, timeline, then we're stereo, H9, HX.
Out.
And then we're out.
There you go.
And the Para EQ is in front of the volume pedal because it is also driving the tuner here off
Very
of the
nice.
volume pedal.
So you got a low impedance drive source there, so you're not losing any of that precious tone meat.
Man, that's the stuff you want. And two, the insert, sometimes you have to be careful where you put it. So it's as isolated kind of as it can be. If none of these are on, it's being driven by a buffer in the ODR. And after it, it's hitting an EQ,
yeah,
which has a decent buffer. So that's
I think you're well
a good
set up
there.
Well, cool.
So yeah, super cool board. There's a Zuma and an Ojai expansion and a Crux under there.
Oh, well, full Monty.
So there's a lot of pedals on here.
There is.
But they're all happily powered by that.
Yeah, well, that's good.
But yeah, pretty strong.
Yeah, it's a good looking board, and good job as always, Eric. If you guys need something like this or something completely different, you know who to call, and we will talk then. Later.